Welcome to this episode of the Kline May Realty Showcase. Let me start that over again. Thanks for our sponsors, and I should do that over again. That was close. You know, I realize how I'm standing. Is this fine?
That was good though.
Just keep going. Welcome to this episode of the Kline May Realty Showcase. My name is Terry Houff from the Harrisonburg office. If you have any questions after reviewing this show, call one of our offices for assistance. We want to thank all of our sponsors. Thanks and enjoy the show.
It was right at the beginning of COVID, and my grandmother's health was declining rapidly, and my mom wasn't able to care for her by herself anymore. So both of them actually moved in with me. It was very, very difficult taking care of an elderly person and also 3 young kids, because the home that we were in had 1 full bathroom for the 7 of us. So we started looking for a home that was able to accommodate 4 generations. So my grandmother is actually a World War II survivor, and she was 97 when she passed away. We were able to find a home that had 1 floor living with a basement, which allowed her to have space for her wheelchair. We actually got in touch with Zach and took a look at the house, and it was just a wonderful transition. Just moving alone in a normal circumstance is a lot to process, but doing it in the middle of a pandemic and then also having so many people that I was responsible for, it was very challenging. And Zach just really approached them with a lot of thought and care. So having him just step in and say, here's what we got to do next, was amazing. And it's a very emotional process too. He handled so many things that I didn't have time for. And he always kept me in the loop. I never felt like I had to hound him for information. He was just always right there every step of the way, and I really appreciated that. I didn't know Zach when we first were interacting for the home buying process. And by the end of it, I just felt like we were great friends. He cares about his clients and what he does. It's not just a job for him. I mean, he really does care about your story and your family. My grandmother has so many incredible stories, and we actually sat around this table and did puzzles while she told those stories, and it was just such a great time because my kids were able to create and have lasting memories with her. She actually passed away in October, and right before she passed away, she said, she calls me Kimmy-chan, and she said, Kimmy-chan, the only reason that I have lived this long is because you have taken such good care of me. And I'll never forget that.
I love my job because you get to help people complete one of their biggest dreams, which is owning a home. I think DCC is the best place for a mortgage because we are community-based, member-focused. Everybody works together, to make sure that every member is taken care of.
DCC is unique in that our whole operations team is here locally. Don't send your file to another state for it to be processed and underwritten there. You are working with somebody who's part of this community.
My name is Kyle Lawrence, and I'm the Executive Director of the Shenandoah Valley Bicycle Coalition. The Coalition does a wide range of activities that help further walking and biking, and that's everything from building and maintaining trails, and also advocating for greenways, bike lanes, sidewalks, and safer places for people to walk and bike as part of their daily lives. So the Shenandoah Valley is a really amazing place to bike and to recreate, to walk, to hike. But one thing we're really lacking is accessible opportunities for people to bike and walk and recreate away from cars in separate spaces. And so rail trails provide an amazing space like greenways where people can be safe and comfortable and away from traffic and connect communities. We are right here in Timberville. We're right along the North Fork of the Shenandoah River, the railroad behind us here. And this is a perfect opportunity of a park that would interface with the rail trail. And this particular rail trail corridor goes from Broadway to Front Royal. It's 48.5 miles, and it goes through 9 towns and 3 counties. So this line, during the Civil War, came down from the northern part of the valley into Mount Jackson, and after the Civil War was continued south. What has happened more recently is all the investment has been in Page County. So this line, particularly parts up by Woodstock, have sat unused for 20 plus years. In some places there's 40-foot trees growing through the tracks. What we want to do is make sure it remains a public asset, right? And what we've come away with is that a rail trail is the best and highest public use of this corridor. Rail to trail concepts have been successful throughout the country, and one of the reasons is you're never going to get a corridor like a railroad corridor again. you're never going to be able to acquire that property, and you're never going to have it graded so that it's accessible. So that's what's so magical about a rail trail corridor. This trail is really special because we believe it'll be one of the most scenic in the state. One of the things that's really cool is being down in the valley, you have views outward to the mountains, but you're not pinched up in the mountains like, say, the Greenbrier Trail in West Virginia. So expansive views of the Massanutten Mountains and the Alleghenies, lots of crossings of the North Fork of the Shenandoah River, and then going through these small towns is the other thing that makes it really unique. Going through 9 towns and communities. A lot of the other trails end up being in more remote rural areas. And so that together will make this trail super special. If you look at greenways, you look at rail trails, you see regular people in regular clothes riding regular bikes, right? I think a lot of us think of this, have this conception of someone in spandex on a really fancy bike. And that's great, those people exist, but that's actually not the target of this trail or any of these long distance trails. And those aren't the people we're gonna see, and they're not the people we're seeing on greenways. It's people looking for a safe space to ride with their friends, their family, their children. Kline May does a really good job of recognizing all the things that help make a strong and healthy, vibrant community. And so this idea of supporting initiatives that connect our community, improve our quality of life, like I said, make our community a stickier place where people want to stay, where they want to live, where they want to start families, and all that is wrapped up in how you get around for transportation, how you recreate, and what you can do out your door or nearby with your family and friends. So Kline May believes that those are all really important things and things that their clients are looking for, and it's right in line with what the Bicycle Coalition aims to do. I think it builds better communities, makes us all happier, and makes for a better world.
Home buyers beware. That's Virginia's motto. So do not buy someone else's problems. Never skip the home inspection. Even if you're buying as is or FYI, for your own protection, get a home inspection from Aztec Home Inspections. We provide home buyers with thorough and informative home inspections, radon testing, and mold testing. Get protected during your home buying process. Know before you buy. Schedule online at aztechomeInsp.com.
Hey Tiffany, I'm Brent with Kline May.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I hear you have some pets for us to meet today.
Absolutely, let's go check them out.
Awesome. Hey Tiffany, who do we have here?
So this is Ham. He is a 5-year-old tabby cat. He was actually abandoned by his previous owners. So he's a little shy, a little skittish around new people because of those abandonment issues.
Okay. People looking to adopt Ham, what type of house would he do best in?
Yeah, so he would do best in a quiet home. My cat hid under my bed for 4 days, and so he just needs someone who's going to be understanding with him as he is going to hide until it takes him some time to adjust to his new home.
What do you typically tell people that adopt cats in terms of how they acclimate to their new home?
Yeah, so we like to say it takes 3 days, 3 weeks, and 3 months. It takes them 3 days to kind of get used to their new surroundings and kind of figure out where they're at, 3 weeks to kind of start to decompress and learn your routine, and then 3 months for them to actually be comfortable and have their personality start to show.
And does Ham do well with other cats, other dogs, kids?
Yeah, we would recommend him for older kids because younger kids could be a little much for him, but he does like other cats. He's done well with other cats in our care, but he is afraid of dogs, so no pups for him.
Great. All right, Tiffany, who do we have here?
So this is Ron. He is a 5-year-old coonhound who loves food, as you can see.
So he's got a little bit of energy. What type of house do you think he would do best in?
So he needs to be in a place that has a yard that can get all of his energy out. He is so high energy. He does not like being in the kennel all day. All he wants to do is be outside and running around. Very independent. He can play by himself or with people. And he just gets very, very stressed in the kennel here. And so he paces a lot, so he hasn't been able to keep weight on, so he has been very food motivated. He does well with other dogs, but because he is so food motivated, he would do best to be fed away from another dog with a slow feeder, just because he has been so food obsessed now.
I mean, he's been really friendly with us. Would he do okay in a house with kids?
Probably older kids. He still has a lot of puppy energy, even though he is 5. And he knows to play with toys, but he does play with hands sometimes, so he just needs to be redirected with those toys. So if you'd like to meet Ron, Ham, or any of our other adoptable pets, you can head to our website at rhspca.org, give us a call at 540-434-5270, or email us at info@rhspca.org. Thanks for watching.
Prowling isn't something to cry wolf about. With a Hawk security system, your home will howl, so you can deal with unwanted prowlers. Hawk Security will keep an eye on the creeps, so you can get your sleep.
Hi, thanks for joining us again for Q&A with Kline May. I'm Karl Waizecker, Principal Broker at Kline May Realty, and I'm glad you've joined us. Our coffee for today is a medium roast from the good folks at Cinnamon Bear Bakery and Deli. It's called Brown Bear. Let's give it a try. Really nice. Medium is the perfect word. I think this would appeal to most people if you like coffee at all. Super smooth, but with a good flavor. So our question today is, do I need a 20% down payment to buy a home? And the answer is no, you absolutely do not. This is probably the number one misconception we see among buyers out there in our market. We get this question all the time, and a lot of folks will be of the mind that they're just never going to be able to buy a home because they can't save up 20% of $300,000, which would be $60,000. The truth is, if you borrow less than 20% down, you might have to pay private mortgage insurance, which is an additional fee, but you can still absolutely qualify for a loan with as little as 0% down. There's a federally backed program through the USDA, which allows buyers in rural areas, so Rockingham County, Augusta County qualify, through which you can buy a home with 0% down. They'll finance 100% of it. So the bottom line for folks who are aspiring home buyers is no matter your situation, if you have a good job, and you have decent credit, you should talk to your realtor, your favorite realtor, talk to a lender, and see what you might qualify for. Most times, folks are very, very pleasantly surprised. Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to check out our new listings, you can see them at the link below. If you have a question for us you'd like to have answered, please drop it into the comments.
We all want to give our kids the best of everything, the best nutrition, the best education, and the best place to grow up. Even the air they breathe. Lennox strives to provide the best air quality for your family's home, free of indoor air pollutants.
At Landis Heating and Air Conditioning, they can install a Lennox customized comfort system in your home. Let Landis sweat the details so you can relax in comfort. Call my friends at Landis Heating and Air Conditioning today.
Get up to $1,700 in rebates.
Thanks very much for watching this week's Kline May Realty Showcase. I hope you enjoyed it. We'd like to thank our sponsors, as always, and we hope to see you all next week.